In this video I'm going to show you how you can make your very own door sign like this one in the free software Tinkercad. If it's something that you would like to learn how to do, then by all means stick around and I'll show you exactly what you need. Okay, so you want to go to tinkercad.com, create yourself a free account and go up to this top right hand corner here and click on create 3D design. This will open up a new work plane for you, and the first thing we want to do is grab one of these blocks and place it onto the work plane like so. Now, sizing. The best thing to do is to click on one of these corner tabs here, and then if you press tab, you can then select your width and height. So we will go with 50mm in height and let's say 180mm in width. By hitting enter, as you can see, it changes our dimensions like so. Now this particular box is far too high for a nameplate, so we're going to drop this down to, let's say, 8mm, and that will give us a nice shape to work with. Now we can change the colour if you like by clicking on the item and clicking on here, and this can change it to any colour you wish, but obviously colours will be determined in your 3D printing software, slicing software. Okay, so now that we want to get our actual plaque looking something more fancy, we can use some tools within Tinkercad on this right hand side here. And the first thing I'm going to do is get one of these circles, these cylinders, but the cylinder itself is see-through. So what we can do is we can get this see-through cylinder and we can pop it into the corner like so. I'm just going to change to the flat view by clicking on this button on the left, and that gives us a bit more of an idea. Instead of making things look like they're in perspective, we want it to be like this so we can get an exact idea of what our plaque will look like. So if we get our cylinder here, and this particular one I'm going to give 20mm by 20mm, and we drop it onto the corner of the plaque like so, then we can have a look, and as you can see it dissects straight through the plaque itself, and this is what we want. If it ends up looking like something like this, that means that the work plane of the actual cylinder is determined by the top surface of your plaque, and we don't want that. We want this to actually go through the actual plaque. So we can do that by grabbing hold of this, dropping onto the actual work plane we want to work with, and then clicking on our cylinder and pressing D. D drops it to the work plane it's actually working on at that moment in time. So now we've got our cylinder, but we want it to align perfectly with our nameplate. We want this to have exactly the same angle on each of these corners so it doesn't look unusual. So the first thing we want to do is we want to click on our nameplate, and then we shift click on our cylinder. We hit the align button, and then we can choose to align to the very edge of the actual nameplate itself. We can then click and then nudge our cylinder up until we are in the very edge of the nameplate itself. I hope this makes sense. We are nudging at 1mm increments. We know it's 1mm because the snap grid here has it set to 1mm, and as you can see, by just using our arrow keys we can move it so we've got this lovely angle right here. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to duplicate our cylinder and then move it down to the very corner like we did previously. We know it's still on this same plane, and as you can see, we zoom in, we're on the very corner of our nameplate. Now we can shift click on both of these We can hit duplicate again, and then we can move our cylinders across to the other corner. Again on that 1 mil increment, and we know that they're perfect because this lines up with the very edge there. Click off now, and this is what you should have. 4 identical cylinders chopping through the 4 corners or 4 edges of the nameplate. If we drag a box all around all of it, now we've selected every single shape, and then we hit Union Group. And when we click that, give it a second, it will chop out these very corners. And that is a little bit more pleasing than just your very basic rectangle. Now we need to create the holes for our screws to go through. So yet again, we do the same. We get a cylinder and we drag it onto the work plane. This time, like I showed you before, we're going to tab and we're going to change this to 6 mil by 6 mil. And that is a standard screw type there. Make sure that the height is higher than the nameplate as well. And then we're going to get our cylinder and we're going to drag it onto our nameplate. Now, this time we're going to do something a little bit different. So we're going to take our cylinder and we're going to bring it in, let's say 2 mil from the edge. We want this to be exactly in the same place on this side as well. So what we'll do is we'll hit duplicate and repeat. Then we'll shift click the actual nameplate, and then we'll go to mirror and we'll click this arrow here, not this one here, and that will send your copy straight over to the other side in exactly the same place. And again, click off, and that's what you should have. Then all we need to do is select all of our shapes again, click Union Group, and there we have our plaque with our holes ready for screw. The next thing we need to do is we need to create a backboard. The backboard is a very similar thing, but we want it to be slightly bigger because, like you see on our nameplate, we have a slightly larger backboard because we wanted to give it that sort of 3D look. Right, now to create the back plate. So what we do is we've created our nameplate, but we need to create the one that goes at the back. We double click the sign and we can actually just select the unaltered nameplate without the holes in. We can duplicate and we can move this up and out of the way like so. So now we have the back plate without any holes in. We want this to be larger than this piece because this is going to be at the back. So what we can do is we can shift and pull these ears in the corner here to create the desired size, or we can actually get more specific and we can just click on these and say 54 mil by 184. And that will give us a slightly larger plate for the back of this design itself. We'll change the colour so we don't get confused. This is the back, this is the front. And then move this onto this by selecting our work plane and dropping it on there, clicking this and pressing D. And that will move our nameplate higher up than the actual bottom plate. Just remember to drag your work plane back onto the original work plane so you can keep working. Now, we want this to be nice and centralized, so we'll click both of them and we'll change our alignment to center, and that'll give us a bit more of an idea of what our back plate will look like. Personally, I want this to be slightly bigger, so I'm going to just drag this out a little bit. Something like that, and then I'm going to make sure they're aligned again, And to me, that looks a lot better now. So we've got this and this. Personally, I would have the nameplate smaller in height, so maybe 4mm. And that'll give you a bit more of an idea of what you're working with. Now, we need to create these holes in the back part as well. So what we can do here is we can double click and we can then click this one and shift click this one. We can duplicate again. And then we can click away. We can get our sign, our top part, our name, and we move that away. And as you can see, we've got the two dowel holes there. Select both our dowel holes. Click D to make them drop down onto this work plane, because remember this one was actually on top of this one. We don't want that. And then we can select all and we can union group. And there we have perfectly aligned holes now, ready for our sign. Okay, so now that we've done the back part, we've done the front part, we now need to put the name on. And this is pretty easy. We want to go to our shapes here and grab our text tool and drag that on to the nameplate itself. We can put in any name that we like, and we have a few font options available to us within the default name tool. Bearing in mind, there is other ways, and I'll show that in future videos on how to get nicer custom fonts actually into Tinkercad. But for now, we'll just use the basic features just to give you the idea of what you need. What I like to do is get the name onto the plate itself, then decide sort of where I want it to be. Obviously, things will change depending on size of name, how many letters, the font, etc. Select both again, click on your alignment, and make sure we have it nice and centered like that. Now that's far too high, the name there, so we're going to drop that height down to, let's say, 2mm. We'll change the color just for the sake. And there we have our Tinkercad name plate all sorted. Okay, so prior to exporting the nameplate, we need to bring this down to the work plane. So we'll select all and we will hit D, and that will drop it down onto the work plane. If you don't do that, unfortunately, when you bring it into Bamboo Lab or any other slicer, you're going to have it floating on the bed, which means it's going to add supports where you don't need to add supports because it thinks the print needs to be floating. So let's export all of this now. Export STL. We'll get our nameplate, we're going to drag it on to the bed, and then we're going to select our back plate, and we're going to export that as an STL, like so. We're going to create a new plate, and we're going to bring that in onto there, and now we have our two different plates. Now obviously we need to paint these as well, so we'll go back to our first one. We'll click on the paint tool and we'll go to fill, and we'll fill it a nice yellow, and then we're going to fill the letters in as black, and that is our front plate, and this is our back plate, which we will change to white. And now we have our nameplates. Obviously you can change the size in here if you like, you can, but make sure you up them both. So if we wanted to change the size of this one here by scale, we'd have to scale it, say, at 120%. Make sure uniform scale's on, and then we can also change this by 120%, again making sure uniform scale is on, and you know that they're both going to fit on top of each other because we've kept the percentages the same. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I hope I didn't leave too much out, and I hope I didn't make it too complicated. If there is anything you don't understand or there's anything you'd like me to make clearer, then by all means drop a comment and I will get to you. I do read all of them, and I do try to reply to all of them as well. If you would rather just have the file, then I'll also leave a link to that in the description as well, so you can simply go there, download it, and play about with it yourself. Until next time, guys, I will see you later.